Hi everybody. So basically for this cosplay, you really don't need a whole lot. The cosplay itself is just a black tank top, a pair of dark denim shorts with rolled cuffs, and plain black thigh highs, and pink Converse, and a pink hat with horns. Her hair is like blonde with blue, like green and blue in it. So, like, really the only things you need to buy outside of something you might find in a normal wardrobe would be a wig and her hat and horns. In my, like, looking around, I didn't see a whole lot of horns on the internet. So, I figured I'd make this tutorial because actually they're really easy. And this is a great beginner cosplay if you've never done it before, and especially if you've never built a cosplay before. So, this will be good for you. Alright, let's get started. This is my mock horn. This is the one I started this last night, and it's obviously hanging here drying. This is how I painted it, so that I could get like all the parts. And all I did, this is a, however you want to dry your horn, it's fine. If you're going to paint one side and then lay it down and dry it and then flip it over and paint it and dry it, whatever, that's fine. All I did with this is one of my garden, like, planters. As you can see, like, it holds one of my pots, outside. For my garden. So you can use something like this. Really anything that you can hang something from is my recommendation. And then this was just thread, and then I took 2 nails about yay big and stuck them into the ends, and then wrapped the thread around and just hung it while I painted it and while it dries. So this is pretty much your finished product, and this will attach to the hat. And these are pretty much the exact size of her horns, so maybe a little bit bigger. And you'll have to bear with me, when I made this yesterday, I didn't have any gold paint, so I kind of had to make my own. So my second one, the paint that you guys use is probably better, and maybe it'll probably look a little better than my paint job did. But I'm happy with my paint job. So first you're going to start with a floral ring. And if you're familiar with a floral ring, it is a wreath looking, it's a thing people use to make wreaths. You see, I cut this out of that. And I have other pieces. Yes. So yes, this was once an entire ring. Bloop. It was all connected before I cut it apart. So you can get a floral ring at Hobby Lobby for about $4.50, so it's pretty cheap. These are styrofoam. Well, they're floral foam. They're not styrofoam. Styrofoam is made of little tiny balls, and these are made of something different. They're like a heated curing resin, kind of like a really, really soft resin, is what they're made out of. So you can see that these are pretty. They're textured, but they're like, this is what the foam end looks like. This is what the outside looks like. So these are pretty much like, they are textured on the inside, but they're pretty much sealed the whole way through, so you don't really have to do a lot of sanding and stuff to these. So what you need to do is take your floral ring. I already cut mine apart, obviously. Cut it into the size that you want. So I picked some that were going to be pretty big. And then take that, of course, lay it against another to get your pattern on the ring and cut that off. I recommend getting one of these. This is a foam cutting saw. You can get them at Hobby Lobby as well in the floral section. They're about $7. They come with 2 blades, and of those 2 blades, you can store them in the handle. Like I said, I already did my cutting. When you cut your foam, just make sure that you're very gentle and you don't rush it, because this is less delicate than styrofoam, but it's still very, it's still really easy to mess it up. So, but alright, let's get into the actual, like, construction. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this off, this, like, drying rig that I made. So all I'm doing is just taking the nails out of here for right now. There we go. So this is what it looks like, and this is what it'll look like on my head. And then, of course, like, I'll paint details on it later, so. Alright, so what I'm going to do is, like I said, I used 2 nails and a string just somewhere to hang it so that I could paint it. So I'm going to push the nails into pretty deep, because they do like to tug out into the horn. Okay? Okay, so now my horn is hanging so that I can paint it. Like I said, I just kind of want to one-shot paint this. I don't really want to have to do this twice. So for my gold paint, I actually made my own color. So I took all these acrylic paints and like blended it together. Each one of these is like 50 cents at Walmart, so you really don't have to spend a ton of money. Or last minute yesterday, I got this acrylic paint from Hobby Lobby. It's $4. This tube will probably last you forever. And it is, I haven't used it yet, but when I opened it, it is very shiny. So this would definitely get the job done if you didn't want to make your own paint, which I totally don't recommend. It was very hard and it took a very long time. And if you don't blend it well enough, it makes streaks. This is an old spice container. So we go to a farmer's market and we get these like spice containers. This was Chinese green tea. I recommend anything that you paint, especially if you make your own paint color. I totally recommend having these like resealable, disposable containers, so that way, and make a lot of your paint. That way, if you need to paint something again or touch something up or work on something, then you have it to go back to. And then when you're done with it, you can just throw it away. I totally don't recommend saving a bunch of these paints, like if you don't plan on using them again. So you can see my paint has already kind of separated. So the first thing I'm going to do is just like stir it up. No.